What's good, YouTube? This your boy Cam, and today we'll be working on these crushed motorsport 4s. Alright, listen guys, these shoes have a lot of creases, discoloration, cracks, everything, you guys. So before we get into the video, I'm going to need you to go ahead and like and subscribe so you don't miss a video in the future. With that being said, cue the intro.
The first thing I'm going to do for this restoration is give these shoes a nice deep cleaning, so we can start by removing the laces. After removing the laces and the insole, we can start the cleaning process. I'll be using a cleaning solution I made myself and an Angelus medium bristle brush. Next, I'll be using the iron method to remove the creases in the toe box. If you don't have a shoe tree, you can use an old pair of socks to stuff the toe box to get it back to its factory shape. After stuffing the toe box, use an old towel or a thin t-shirt that won't bleed into the shoe over the area that you're working on. When using the iron, make sure that you press firmly and have the iron on its highest steam setting so it will soften the leather and will deliver a stock shape. Now that I removed a lot of the creasing from the upwards, we can start working on the factory finish and repainting the midsoles. Instead of using acetone to remove the factory finish, I'll be trying something new and using rubbing alcohol. It may not be as strong, but it'll still get the job done. Now I'll be taping out the black and blue parts of the midsole, the air bubble, and the bottom so I can start laying down the first coats of white paint. You may need to use a box cutter or a knife to get the tape into hard to reach places or cut out the shape you're trying to tape off. Now that I got the midsoles all taped up, I can start applying the first coats. I'll be using Angelus flat white paint for the uppers and the midsole, but I won't be showing you all of the coats that I apply to the shoe, but I will be using the heat gun to speed up the process. So now that I applied the white, we can start working on the blue. It may not look like it on camera, but the blue is a little bit lighter than the manufacturer color. So I'll start by taping off the black and white parts of the midsole and the bottoms. So for painting this part of the midsole, I'll be using a mixture of blue paints by Angelus. The last thing I have to do for this part of the restoration is repaint the black. For this I'll be using Angelus flat black paint, and there is chips already in the midsole, but they're level with the rest of the paint, so I won't have to sand it down. The only part I'm not going to mess with this restoration is the webbing. Even if I was to put Salon Care 40 on it, or if I was to repaint it, yeah, the paint is going to make it white, but it's just going to damage the black underneath. When painting the uppers, especially with the paintbrush, you have to be really careful on how much paint and how you spread it throughout the shoe before you use the heat gun to dry, because it's really easy to have uneven coats of paint. I'll be applying brand new laces because the aglets from the laces that the shoes came with were destroyed. Just came back from outside from spraying the Carlyle finisher on them. The first thing that we did, guys, was give these shoes a massive deep cleaning, and then we removed as much creasing as possible from the toe box, and then we painted the midsoles and then the uppers. And lastly, I applied brand new shoelaces because the last ones were so damaged and I couldn't do anything with them.
That's all for this episode of the Restoration Cam. I thank you all for tuning in today. These shoes will actually be on sale. You can get them from the link in the description below. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any new content in the future. I'll see you guys on my next episode. I'm out.